What's up, everybody? What is up? What is up? How's it going, everybody? How's your night treating ya? Angel, what's up, bro? How you doing? How you doing? Bromus, what's up, bro? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Snellium, how you doing, bro? On the inside, yo, what's up, bro? What's up, everybody? So today, much like Sukuna's Binding Vows, this is an impromptu live stream. Neo, what's up, man? I am super busy right now, bro. It's final exams, and yeah, like if you guys have been following my channel for a while, like I started this channel like 3.5 years ago, I think, almost 4 years ago now, and like during this time of the during these times, I usually don't post anything at all. I usually go on like a month-long hiatus. It's like final exams. And tomorrow I'm gonna be in the library literally the entirety of the day. Bucket, what's up, bro? Crawler, what's up? Joe Taro, how's it going? Yeah, tomorrow it's gonna be like a 12, maybe 14-hour library sesh because I have to build like three websites and like submit them by midnight tomorrow. So it's gonna be a long day tomorrow, but yeah, usually during this time I wouldn't post anything at all. But I'm trying to post more now, and I'm also in this upload challenge with Restless Gambler and with Don Coolio. So like, yeah, I don't want to just post zero stuff the entire time. But tomorrow, I'm a good chance I'm posting zero. But anyway, today we're just going to be reading through Yuji's feats against Sukuna in the final battle of Jujutsu Kaisen. So, like, if you're not caught up with the Jujutsu Kaisen manga and you don't want to see, like, the stuff that happens in the final battle, this is definitely not the stream for you. Unless you want to just, like, get spoiled on it, I guess. Because, yeah, we're going to talk about some of Yuji's, like, really interesting feats. And normally, like, I edit, like, normally I have a little bit more time to work on this stuff. So I, like, take screenshots of each feat individually and, like, slap them together in a presentation before I start the stream. But today there's just legit no time for that. Like after the stream is done, I gotta immediately hit the sheets and go right back to the library. I just got back from the library like right now. So yeah, but I wanted to do this one really quick. I hope it doesn't get copyrighted because we're gonna go through like 20 chapters on Viz and just analyze some of the feats from there. But if it gets copyrighted, maybe I'll put it to members only, but if it doesn't, then we'll just leave it up. So let's talk about some of Yuji's feats, okay? So one of the interesting things about Yuji is his like soul damaging powers, okay? So in the final arc, Yuji gets a lot stronger. He gains numerous different abilities. Just to list a few of them, he gets simple domain, he gets reverse curse technique, and he develops 2 curse techniques during like this final battle. Really, he develops those three of those 4 things. He develops them during the 1 month time skip. But the final like secondary curse technique, like the cleaves, I don't remember if he's using cleave or dismantle or both. One of Sukuna's slashing techniques, he's using, and he awakens it through like doing tons of black flashes in the final battle. And then he also has piercing blood because Yuji is like also a curse womb, which is pretty weird. Like I would need Restless to like explain that to me, to be completely honest, because I think the same way that Choso is a 150-year-old curse womb, Yuji is also a 150-year-old curse womb, but Yuji didn't keep his memories from that time, but Choso did. So it's pretty interesting. Kona, how you doing, bro? How you doing? But yeah, so let's talk about some of these powers. So one of them, it's stated here in this left panel, and we are using Viz. I hear people say that Viz translations for Jujutsu Kaisen are actually not that good. And that like if you go to different websites, you would get better translations. But Viz is like the one of the only like official manga translation sites where I think it lowers your chance of copyright. So I'm gonna stick with Viz for tonight. Okay. So yeah, the thing they're saying, Sukuna's saying about Yuji's power is that he can deliver attacks that capture the soul and tear Megumi from Sukuna's body. Like essentially, he's saying like Yuji can hit the space between Sukuna's soul and Megumi's soul, and it's because like Yuji was a vessel to Sukuna, so he like intuitively could tell the difference between like the two souls of an incarnated sorcerer. Like if a sorcerer is taking over somebody else's body, there's now two souls in that body. It's the original body and then the sorcerer's who's like taking over the original. So there's two souls per body, and since Yuji was in that situation himself, he like knows the barrier between that. So let's go to the next page. So these next two chapters are where Yuji and Yuta together are like boxing Sukuna. And this version of Sukuna, this is like fresh after killing Gojo. And he went into, like, he used his full restore to, like, go into Heian Era Sukuna form, but he's still, like, massively damaged, right? Like, he can't use domain expansion because he still has brain damage from Unlimited Void and brain damage from using reverse curse technique to replenish his curse technique. So it's like the combo effect of that makes it so he can't use his domain. Also, his, like, cursed energy output is low in general, from just like having an insane battle with Gojo. So he can barely heal himself, and all of his attacks are way weaker. And that's legit the only reason why like Sukuna doesn't just one-shot Yuta and Yuji as soon as it starts. So Yuta actually has a line of dialogue right here saying that. If you look in the top left panel, he says, if it weren't for the fight against Gojo, Sukuna would have healed and wiped us out in an instant. Other translations of this, like I believe are saying like this slash right here, if it wasn't for him having a much lower output from like being exhausted from fighting Gojo, this slash would have killed them both. But like because his output is lower from having an insane like extreme diff fight against Gojo, now like these guys are able to survive it by spamming reverse curse technique. Otherwise he would have just turned Yuta and Yuji into cubes right here. What's up, Jotaro? So Friday, gonna go pray. That's dope. Okay. Bromus said, wait though, does that mean Yuji is gonna age like Choso? Did Choso like have accelerated aging? To be honest, like Yuji is just very weird, man. I don't really know how the rest of Yuji's life will be, but he stated to like have potential on par with Sukuna. Okay, let's keep going. Kona, you said Gojo can use curse spirit manipulation according to Viz. Yeah, Viz like makes some mistakes sometimes, to be honest. Okay, so let's keep scrolling through here. Is there any other feats I wanted to talk about in this fight here? Yeah, I mean, this scene where Yuta and Yuji are both jumping Sukuna together is going to be insane when it gets animated. I'm not going to like deeply analyze every single panel because I'm trying to avoid copyright, so you'll see me like rapidly flip through pages here and there. But there's one scene where like Sukuna like blasts Yuji with dismantles to the chest, and Yuji just spits blood into his eyes, and then Yuta punches him in the chin. That's one of the craziest moments like in this whole fight, in my opinion. Anime Monarch, you said, apparently Sukuna using the slashes like that was inspired by the anime. This scene? Oh, that's cold. Yeah, he did do that in the anime against Maharaga, right? I gotta say, like, the choreography in Jujutsu Kaisen is S tier, in my opinion. Like, it has some of the best fight choreography out of any shonen. And then you get this scene with Yuta using cleave. That was gold. Let's see what happens in this next chapter. Okay, so yeah, Yuji and Yuta both get cut. There has been controversy over whether or not this was a world-cutting slash. Let me know in the chat if you guys think this was a world-cutting slash or not. But it's pretty insane that like Yuji's able to survive this, and so is Yuta. I think that panel I was talking about is over here too. Yeah, this scene, bro. Okay, this scene is like one of the craziest in the entire Sukuna fight, to be honest. Like, wait, Lightly, you said your message got deleted? I did not do that. Maybe maybe like built-in YouTube AI deleted it, because I like I barely even looked at the chat. I've just been analyzing. But anyway, this is one of the craziest moments. You see Yuji knees Sukuna in the face, and then Sukuna right here in the bottom left blasts him with I think these are cleaves at point blank range. Hits him with a bunch of them. And if Yuji didn't have reverse curse technique, this would kill Yuji. But Yuji's like reverse curse technique healing himself at the same time, I believe, to like stay alive. And then he spits blood into Sukuna's eyes, and then Yuta immediately punches him in the chin. Like when that gets animated, that's gonna go absolutely crazy. And then you see Sukuna's trying to do the world cutting slash hand signs. They're stopping him from it, or at least trying to stop him from it. Yuji uses piercing blood. And then they like get his arms, blast him. But then he does the rest of the world cutting slash chants, and then points like a world cutting slash and then chops him. So I don't know. I think it might be a world cutting slash, but let me know what you guys think down below. Then we get the Maki fight. So Maki fights Sukuna, I think, for the next 2 or 3 chapters. So let's skip ahead a few. Oh yeah, and this is the dumbest fight in the manga. I don't even care. I skip this fight every time. The Kusakabe fight is garbage in my opinion. It just seemed stupid. I didn't like it at all. Okay, so do we have Yuji fighting in here? Yeah, Yuji comes in, gives him the double haymaker. This panel is pretty interesting because it gives you more information about the limitations of world cutting slash. He says he can't complete the palm sign with just the top and bottom right hands, and his reverse curse technique was still cooked. So I think he's just fighting with the 2 hands on his right side. Dova, what's up, bro? And then Sukuna hits his first Black Flash. Actually, no, this is his second one because I think he hit one against Maki. Okay. And then we're getting to one of my favorite points in the fight when Yuji just starts like going crazy. But yeah, you can see Sukuna's just locking in, hits another Black Flash. This scene is crazy too. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to see get animated. This scene is nuts too, where Sukuna and Maki are both boxing each other, jumping off the air. Like, that's crazy. And like him jumping off the air like this, I think this is why a lot of people think that Sukuna has a heavenly restriction and can use cursed energy at the same time. I think this is why, because like I don't think we've seen any other sorcerers do that, jump off the air. I thought that was something only heavenly restriction people can do, but Sukuna's doing it. Okay. And it is also showing you like how weak Sukuna is right now. Like, Gojo really did a huge number on him, because if it wasn't for Gojo, all these guys would have been dead by now. They wouldn't be boxing him like at all. But he's like, not only is he weakened, do you guys think he's still holding back at this point? Just like trying to have fun with each person he's fighting? Because I kind of do. Except for Yuji. When he fights Yuji, he just like hates him. But I think this is just a great example of like how much lower Sukuna is from his normal full power, because like another thing about Yuji's punches is like every time Yuji punches him, it lowers Sukuna's cursed energy output at the same time. So like Bromus, that's classic. Strongest sorcerer in history versus strongest sorcerer available. Yeah, so it's like he went into this fight after Gojo, like with all the things we listed at the beginning, he was just jacked up. But on top of all of that, his cursed energy, like total cursed energy, was at like half. Less than half, I think. And I think he had a line of dialogue where he said he had about as much cursed energy left as Yuta. And his output is plummeting. And every time Yuji hits him, his output goes lower and lower. And like he could barely even, I mean, he can't even heal himself because his output's so low. That's why he's just missing 2 arms while he's fighting all these guys. But every time he hits Black Flashes, his output comes back a little bit. So let me see. Does he heal here? And this is also why like Maki's able to survive slashes at all. I don't know if Maki would have been able to survive like a full power Sukuna dismantles. But yeah, then he has this scene where he shoots slashes and then runs faster than his slashes are. Chucks Choso. Let's see. Now we get Yuji coming into box once again. Yuji throws the craziest hands out of anybody here. It's either Yuji or Maki. They're just boxing like crazy. And they're probably the two strongest people here. Well, I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you think Yuji could beat Miguel. Because maybe not. I don't know. That's a close one. But yeah, Yuji and Maki are really doing like the heavy lifting at this point in the fight. You got Yuji throwing the knee. Sukuna grabs him by the chest. And then Yuji points the piercing blood. And then Sukuna dodges it at point blank range. Now this is where Yuji starts truly locking in. He stances up. And Sukuna can sense that like he's about to start hitting black flashes. This guy Lauru, I think his name is, uses his curse technique to like pull Sukuna's gaze away from Yuji, and then Yuji lands a black flash. And then this is where Yuji awakens the dismantles as well. And this is where this is where Yuji really starts locking in. And this is like one of the main things I wanted to talk about. So this is a statement where they're saying like Yuji's biology is already super weird. Like he's like a cursed womb created by Kenjaku, but also the son of a person that Kenjaku specifically sought out so that Yuji could be born. And like I think Yuji's father also had the soul of Sukuna's twin brother. So like like technically Sukuna is Yuji's uncle at the same time. And they reveal that right here. And then they say like it would also mean that Yuji's potential is equal to Sukuna's, which is pretty crazy. It's interesting to think. I wonder if like I wonder who was stronger, like this version of Yuji or like a 15, 16-year-old Sukuna. I wonder who was stronger. But like this panel, like Gege draws them looking pretty similar too. Like this was the first time I started thinking that like Heian Air Sukuna just kind of looks like an adult version of Yuji. But yeah, they both stance up with each other. Everyone else has been cooked by dismantle, so it's really just like Yuji right now. I think Maki is cooked right now. Everyone is like taking a lot of damage, so it's just Yuji 1v1ing this super tired Sukuna. And this is where you see Yuji just locking in. And I would definitely say this is like special grade level stuff Yuji's doing, even though this is heavily nerfed Sukuna. Like most people are just dying here anyway. Like we just saw Sukuna steamroll the whole cast, but Yuji squaring up with him. He hits him with one black flash, a second black flash, like shoulder check. Then Yuji jumps in the air, uses they're saying Malevolent Shrine, but this might be a Viz mistake. Maybe this is Cleave or Dismantle. I'm not sure which. But like Yuji's version of it is like much weaker than Sukuna's. He punches it while chopping it. And then you can see like small dismantle cuts like on Sukuna's leg here too. So it looks like Yuji grabs his foot and then like puts dismantles on Sukuna's leg. Sukuna tries slashing him and he just punches him in the chest. And like the crazy thing is like you see Yuji just walking through dismantles like a tank. I think this is Yuji's third black flash right here. Let's see. Takes the Sukuna slash to the chest, punches him into a wall, walking through more slashes like Terminator. This is his fourth black flash. He takes slashes to the face and then just powers through them. Fifth black flash. Sixth one. Actually, I might have miscounted. I think this was his seventh one. And something that's interesting is this dude, the Shiesty wearing sorcerer, I forget his name, but he has a line of dialogue where he's like, this level of fight is way out of my league. He says something like that somewhere. It might be on the next chapter. But this guy's saying that like Yuji's way out of his league is very impressive because like I think this guy is about as strong as a first grade sorcerer. So Yuji's like way out of the league of a first grade sorcerer. But yeah, every time he's hitting him with a black flash, Yuji's output is increasing while Sukuna's output is decreasing. We're going to skip some of this. And yeah, this is where Sukuna just goes binding vow merchant mode. I'm not gonna analyze this too much. Like this could be its own video on its own. But like I was reading these last night and really thinking like, is this kind of, like, I don't know. Let me know if you guys think this is kind of plot, because just some of the stuff they were saying here was kind of crazy. It was like it was something like, hold on, let me see if I can find the exact dialogue. Because his output was too low to use domain expansion this entire time. He hits 2 black flashes. Like it was his output and his brain was too damaged for him to use domain expansion the entire time. And he hits 2 black flashes, gains some output, but then Yuji hits him with 7 black flashes and he loses a lot of output, but he's still able to use domain expansion anyway by using a bunch of crazy binding vows. Like there's literally a line of dialogue where it's like he uses like a plethora of impromptu binding vows. Wait, let me see if I can find it. Okay, let's just see. Distribute the function brain. Yeah, this is them talking about Yuji did 7 black flashes in between the boundary of his soul and Megami's soul, and it caused him to miss his chance to recover his reverse curse technique. So his output's so low, he can't even use reverse curse technique still. But he can still use domain. And like, here's the crazy part. Like, he changed the hand signs of his domain expansion because he only has like these two. He only has these 2 arms. So like he changes the hand sign for his domain expansion. It says a change of palm signs and a curse technique with a part of the brain unaffected by unlimited void. So like the reason he couldn't do it before was because like the part of his brain that he needs for domain expansions was damaged from the fight with Gojo. It's still damaged now, but now he's just using the other part of his brain and doing a different hand sign. Like I was like, what the heck are you talking about when I read that? Let's see, what else does he say? He said, having survived the black flashes, Sukuna generates Malevolent Shrine without a decrease in the effective area or output through imprecise elements and an impromptu binding vow. Like, I don't know, to me this was just kind of dumb. I'm not gonna lie. This part was dumb because it's like the whole reason why he didn't use the domain in the first part of his fight against Yuji and Yuta and all that, it was because like they specifically say he can't use his domain right now because the part of his brain that lets him do it is damaged and he can't like make the hand signs. But here he's just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to use the part of my brain that's not damaged and that doesn't do domains. I'm just going to make it do domains anyway and change the hand sign. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, when I first read that, I thought that was kind of crazy. Broma said, what are WTF are imprecise elements? I don't know, bro. This part, I mean, like, I look at it in 2 different ways. One, it's dope that like Sukuna's so skilled he can just do that. But 2, I'm like, wait a minute, what does that actually make sense or not? You know? Anime Monarch said, I noticed that during the fight with Yuta and Yuji, Sukuna was standing around a lot and seemingly let himself get hit rather than dodging. That's true too, bro. Like, I think another thing about the final battle that's really cool is like Sukuna just wanted to have fun, so he was just kind of like letting the sorcerers do what they wanted, kind of fighting like Kaido a little bit. But okay, we'll skip all this part, and then they all just start tanking it because they have to survive it for like 9 minutes. Was it 9 minutes or no 90 seconds, not 9 minutes, sorry. But this part is crazy. Like Yuji using the simple domain, like this is cold, bro. Like this is gonna be crazy when it gets animated. And like Yuji says, like it's an incomplete domain. It looks like an incomplete domain. There's some kind of hole. I gotta withstand this. And they say Yuji was right. Let's see here. It says Sukuna isn't lowering the difficulty of his barrier technique. He isn't using a barrier to divide his effective range and the outside world. So I think they're saying like this is like a closed barrier version, I think. I don't think it's an open barrier version of it. And like this is dope. You can see this is a different hand sign than what he normally uses, right? Because normally his domain expansion, he puts both of his hands together, but this time he just made a different hand sign, like twisting his fingers all around. Like he's twisting both, like if you try to do this, like your fingers will straight up like break. Like look at how he's twisting his fingers, dog. Like he's twisting them. He's twisting his index and middle finger around, and then he's twisting his ring finger like around his pinky. Like what kind of twist? He's doing some wild twists, bro. Pause. But anyway, and then he says, covering the domain with a barrier external shell provides an escape route. The binding vow disappears. The effective range shrinks. The domain specifications change. Like he's just changing everything about it. Like that's what. Like this is like 4 sentences of things changing that are not normal. And the guaranteed hit effect. Wait, the guaranteed hit activates within the manifested landscape of mental imagery. Okay. Not even sure exactly what that last sentence means, but it said that makes it impossible to notice Maki because she has no cursed energy, and Sukuna is currently incapable of maintaining this high level domain, so he can only do it for 90 seconds. Basically, like my interpretation of it, I'd have to read this a couple times to deeply fully understand everything that's different, but it seems like I don't think it's a open barrier domain. Like it looks like it actually has like a weird looking shell, and I don't think and I think it like you have to have cursed energy to be hit by the sure hits in this one. Meanwhile, his normal one might just tear everything up, but I don't know, because I don't know if Maki gets hit by it or not. Bromish, you said this chapter sucks, invis, borderline, unable to be understood. Lighty, you said this is Gojo's hand sign? Is this Gojo's hand sign? That would be crazy. You might hear Momo crying in the background. That's my cat. She just wants to come in this room. She's trying to see these binding vows too in the manga, but can't let her in. Lightly, you said, please, can we use a different translation? I'm sorry, bro. If I do, I might get a terrible copyright strike. But I'll do another live stream just analyzing like all the binding vows. Like that I think would be really fun. We're doing like a light quick analysis tonight, but I'll do a different live stream analyzing all the different binding vows with different translations. But yeah, like Yuji gets chopped to bits but like regenerates himself and survives. And then immediately after he hits Fuga as well. Okay, so and this part's crazy. So like this is one of the coolest panels in the whole fight too. Okay, yeah. And I think they have a bit of dialogue explaining why he didn't do this against Gojo, and they talk more in detail about Fuga. They say it has firepower, but the flames aren't fast and the effective range is short. To solve this problem, Sukuna entered into a binding vow. He truly is the king of binding vows, bro. Sukuna can't use Divine Flame when he's outnumbered, except when his domain is open. Okay, so yeah, I don't think his domain was open, and like one of the binding vows on it is he can only use it if it's like one opponent. And then he said, but due to this binding vow, he can expand the curse technique of Malevolent Shrine. It's just so many binding vows, bro. So it's like there's a binding vow where he can only use Fuga against one opponent, but because of this binding vow, he makes another binding vow that lets him expand the range of Malevolent Shrine, or expand the power of it. And it said, furthermore, Sukuna temporarily. Like after a certain point, bro. After a certain point, I just like it. I don't know. Like it goes from being like, it's almost like the Baki effect where they over-explain things to the point where I'm like, this is just dumb, and then it becomes hilarious. Like, Sukuna's binding vows borderline get hilarious, bro. Like if you really read all of them, he does like 10 in 2 chapters. He says, furthermore, Sukuna temporarily altered the barrier's specifications, controlled its access to everything except living things. and created a seal within the effective range without lowering Malevolent Shrine's output. Wait, let me really think about that. So he's altering the barrier specifications and letting it hit everything except living things, and created a seal to expand. Wait, created a seal within the effective range without lowering output? So, like, I don't know. Is he, like, completely closing the barrier and there was an opening before, but the output doesn't go down? Something like that. And then they're saying this is the same thing he used to kill Maharaga. Choso saves Yuji and then Choso dies. And yeah, this was the panel where I was wondering, like, this is why I was thinking Yuji was a cursed womb as well. Like, this panel right here, this is like what Choso was like for 150 years. And Choso has this line of dialogue, 150 years to us was those few days to Yuji. And I think this is like some Viz mistakes, but like, it makes me think, like, was Yuji a cursed womb during the 150 years too? I don't really know. But Choso's death, and then this crazy panel comes up where Yuji and Todo like appear ready to box. This scene is pretty cool because it's like reminiscent of when Todo pulled up to fight Mahito as well. It's like pretty similar to that scene. They might even be in like similar positions. But instead of Mahito, it's Sukuna. All right, let's get to this part. Anno said, what he's actually doing is chopping up everything in the barrier to turn it into cursed energy, kindling, and pressurizing it so he can blow it up with a fire arrow. That's pretty wild. Yeah, and I'm going to do a different live stream deeply analyzing the Binding Vows. This is just kind of like a light analysis of it. I more wanted to highlight like all the crazy stuff Yuji pulls off. Like, he's definitely the MVP after Gojo, I think. He just goes, like, the longest fighting Sukuna while everyone else keeps getting wiped out. Yuji just, like, keeps tanking stuff and getting back up. Like, Yuji got hit by the same slash that, like, chopped Yuta in half, but he healed from it and then just kept fighting a lot longer. Like, I think Yuta's overall stronger, but Yuji legit might have more durability. Or you could just say that Yuta got hit by like more of the slash than Yuji did, because Yuta got chopped clean in half while Yuji was like still somewhat together. Bucket said, no, it's just a soul connection thing. Okay, yeah, and this fight goes crazy. Todo switching like, it says 50 swaps per second, like with his upgraded boogie woogie technique. And they're both just jumping Sukuna. Sukuna can't even predict like when he's gonna get hit next. Let's see here. Yeah, and like you see Todo switching Sukuna with like all kinds of like rubble from the Malevolent Shrine. And like this is, I think this scene was inspired from the anime too. This scene, because like if you remember in the Mahito fight, they added a scene where Yuji picks up a rock, chucks it, and then Todo swaps himself with the rock and then like kicks Mahito. I think that was an anime only scene, and like this is them like replicating that in the manga, which is dope. Oh, Bucket, you're saying it was a soul connection thing with Choso and Yuji. Oh, and you're saying for the Choso womb thing, Yuji isn't 100 years old. He just connects with their souls. Oh, okay. But yeah, I think this is another reference to the anime. Yuji chucks the rock and it's flying, but instead of like swapping Todo with it, I think he swaps Yuji with the rock that was chucked. Yeah, like he throws it at Sukuna here and then he swaps himself with it. And then let me zoom in here. So he swaps Yuji with the rock. Yuji punches Sukuna in the chest, and then Sukuna just tanks it, grabs him by his face, and is about to throw him. In total, like, swaps him with something. As Yuji's getting thrown, he swaps Yuji with something so that he doesn't, like, go flying. And then Yuji just punches him in the back and punches him again. I love when Gege draws, like, their eyes like this. It reminds me of Berserk. It's crazy. But yeah, Todo, like, stopped him from going flying, switches him behind him, and he's punching him in the back. And then this scene, when this gets animated, this scene's gonna go crazy. Where they're all just stanced up in front of each other for a brief moment in between the swaps. And Sukuna saying it's practically impossible to get used to like all these switches. Yuji punches him into a pillar. And they're saying like Yuji's reached maximum concentration. He's truly locked in. And Sukuna's trying to predict where he's gonna punch. And Yuji's like charging up his fist with cursed energy, but it looks like fire in this scene. And he changed Yuji's position with a crow. Or he thought he was going to. He aims for a crow. And he does the fake out thing that he did to Mahito. He just like makes the switching sound, but Yuji doesn't actually switch. Yuji's still charging up this punch, and then cracks Sukuna in the chest with it. And then after cracking him in the chest, he's trying to like crush Sukuna's heart, and Sukuna's going for another domain expansion. And this part, I'm gonna be honest, this part didn't make sense to me. I don't know how he's able to keep doing them after that last binding vow. I thought it was just like he could only do one with that one super crazy binding vow, but especially since he's been hit by Yuji like 20 times, like his cursed energy output would be way lower now than it was at the last domain expansion. But Sukuna says, well, the dialogue says, because like Sukuna's very efficient with cursed energy, even with his cursed energy reduced to Yuta's level, it's possible for him to open domain countless times as long as he restores the burnt out curse technique. So he's doing the same thing Gojo did. He's using reverse curse technique to replenish his curse technique, I think. But I'm going to be honest, that doesn't make any freaking sense because he's not using reverse curse technique on any other part of his body. I don't know how this part's possible. I'm going to be straight up with you. I don't know how this is possible. Lady, it did mention it. I just skipped over it. It says it right here. See, it says he can switch 50 times per second. I just like went over it, I think. Like I just went past it really fast. But yeah, can anyone explain to me how Sukuna's able to do another domain expansion here? Because he says he's restoring his he's restoring his burnt out curse technique. Bromish, you said he just naturally recovered his burnout. I don't know how though, because like Yuji's pummeling him. He just recovered with time. Like he recovered while so he recovered his technique within like one chapter of getting pummeled, and like every time he gets hit by Yuji, his curse technique, his like output goes lower, but he still replenished his curse technique just with time. And then there's the Gojo fake out, but it's just Yuji and Gojo's body. Okay. And then they have the domain clash, and this panel goes crazy too. But yeah, then you have the Yuta versus Sukuna fight. We can skip that because I just want to focus on Yuji. Bromis said Mahito, after popping domain in Shibuya, recovered his output very quickly against Yuji and Todo. It's the same thing here. Okay. Yeah, so oh wait. I think this was right after I should probably go back one. So yeah, like Yuta just falls flat on his face. Who hits the black flash here? Was it Sukuna? I think it was Sukuna who hit the black flash. Todo teleports him behind his back. Oh yeah, it was Sukuna who hit a black flash on Todo. And then Todo's like slapping his face with this thing here. Swapping Yuji around. Yuji's boxing Sukuna. This scene goes crazy. He's swapping Sukuna around him a bunch of times. And oh yeah, and Yuji's using dismantle. Okay, so I guess like the shrine attack he was doing this whole time was dismantle, and he's chopping like the boundary between Sukuna's soul and Megami's soul, and this is where people say like he has soul splitting dismantles. So like one thing I wanted to talk about is the people we've seen Yuji do these soul attacks on are Sukuna, who's an incarnated sorcerer, and then he also did this to Mahito. Like this is why he was Mahito's natural weakness, because like Mahito's power was soul manipulation. Like he was wasn't that Mahito's power? Like he was manipulating the shape of his soul to like change the way he looked. But Yuji could tell like the shape of a soul, so he could like do damage to Mahito directly. What about if Yuji punches a normal person? Like, do they take soul damage? That's something I was interested in wondering. Like, when he was fighting Todo, was he like damaging Todo's soul and Todo was just like tanking it? Now this is where Sukuna's like really cooked. He's puking up fingers, munching them back down. He's taking a lot of damage. And then Yuji and Sukuna are just boxing. And every punch is like he's punching him and hitting him with these soul-cutting dismantles at the same time. He faked him out with the swap. And then Sukuna just tanks a maximum output Jacob's Ladder somehow, even in this dire state. And yeah, this is basically like near the end of the fight here. Like, he tanks the maximum output Jacob's Ladder and then just climbs up it like an actual ladder, which is insane. And then he's about to one-shot this girl. Todo saves her by tanking the Black Flash. And he gives Todo like some of the biggest praise of the entire fight. He says he's a true sorcerer to his core. And then Yuji climbs up the Jacob's Ladder too. Like, I really do think Yuji has more durability than Yuta. I think that's the one thing he outstats Yuta in, is just raw durability. And then boxes Sukuna right there, grabs him by his feet, slams him into a wall. I think this is actually inspired from Naruto versus Sasuke in the anime when they were kids. If you go back and watch that fight, Naruto does this exact same thing to Sasuke. Sukuna still tanks it. They're still boxing. And now Sukuna finally recovered his curse technique, reverse curse technique to the point where he has his 2 arms, like all 4 arms back. And then they're just boxing in hand to hand. Let's see here. Oh, and then he just goes for a domain expansion. Okay, and this is pretty much the end of the fight. Like after the domain, I don't think we even get to see like the domain fully hit Sukuna. But like when the domain ends, they just have one final boxing sesh. And then it ends with like Kugisaki doing this. And then he hits him with one punch to the chest, right? Yeah. But wait, let me go back and see if we got to see him take any damage from the domain. No, yeah, this is him blocking the domain with Hollow Wicker Basket. And he's boxing him. And let's see here. Was he winning the boxing sesh? It looks like, yeah, Sukuna was more or less winning this, even in his super damaged state. But then Megami steps in, helps Yuji out. This panel's gonna go pretty cool in the anime too. It's gonna be kind of like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure like punching clash. But then Yuji wins this, which is actually a pretty crazy feat for Yuji. And then, yeah, we get the end of a... Oh, and I think he's using reverse curse technique to replenish his curse technique here. And you see his nose bleeding, so he's, like, damaging his brain from it. And, yeah, then we get to the end of the fight. So, Yuji's really cracked. All this to say, like, he fought way longer than Yuta did. He fought way longer than Maki did. He literally lasted the longest out of all of these sorcerers. Like, if you pay really close attention, like, just think about how many people hopped into the fight, got decimated by Sukuna by taking less damage than Yuji did, and then Yuji just kept going the entirety of that time. Like, during the same, like, after Gojo went down, think about how many people, like, hopped into the fray around the same time as Yuji, even after Yuji and still went down. It's like Maki went in there, Yuta went in there, Todo went in there, that Angel Girl went in there, Miguel and Laru, like Kusakabe, Higuruma, all these people go down, but Yuji just stays there that entire duration and keeps boxing that entire time. I really think he has, like, he might even have more durability than Maki, but I don't know, because I don't think Sukuna hit Yuji with a Black Flash directly, but Maki withstood 2 of them. Yeah, but Yuji fought Sukuna 1v1 for the longest out of anyone there, so. But yeah, I just wanted to go over Yuji's feats because he pulls off some really crazy stuff in this final battle. And this is him really, like, acting like a true MC, in my opinion. Bucket said the boxing is in the domain. Broma said he wasn't using all 4 arms, he was using hollow wicker basket. Yeah, a good portion of that, he was only using 2 of his arms. Wait, is all of this still in the domain? Oh, no, he's using all of his arms here. Bucket said one of the Black Flash barrages in that chapter was Sukuna on Yuji. So Yuji took a Black Flash too. Yeah, Yuji, I really think, I mean, I don't know. This whole battle in the end, it really makes me question who's stronger between Yuji and Yuta. I still think it's Yuta, but I think in durability, Yuji might have more durability than Yuta. What do you guys think about that? JR said, where do you scale Yuji in speed? It's hard to say. I mean, my stance on JJK's speed scaling, in all honest truth, I think the speed scaling in the manga goes like all the first grade sorcerers are like about capping at like Mach 1, like all the first grade sorcerers, because you have like Naoya being stated to be one of the fastest, and Naobito was the fastest sorcerer other than Gojo in terms of like I'm not sure if it meant reaction speed and travel speed. I'm not really sure. But those guys were like in the realm of like Mach 1, like the Naobito and Naoya. Maybe Naobito was a little faster than Mach 1. Because they were both dodging Piercing Blood, and Piercing Blood was Mach 1. And then you have special grade sorcerers like Yuta, Hakari, people like that. I think that it would make sense for them to be somewhat relative to Lightning, but that's debatable. And then I think Sukuna and Gojo are like many times faster than those guys, like can speed blitz those guys, so maybe like 10 times the speed of Lightning. But I think Yuji is like relative to the special grade heavy hitters, but like slightly below them. So I think he's somewhat relative. Like, I don't really know if he has the feats to back up being relative to Lightning, but like in my mind, I would say Yuji is like somewhere in between Mach 3 and Lightning speed in terms of reaction speed, somewhere in between there. But I don't know. It's like the speed scaling in JJK is kind of wonky. But alright guys, I think that's enough for tonight. I do have to go to sleep because I got to be in the library all day tomorrow. But thank you guys for tuning in. And yeah, I appreciate all of the comments. I appreciate you guys spending time here in this chat. Anno said Restless did a stream debunking the JJK lightning speed stuff. I saw that stream, and I mean, he could very well be right, to be honest with you, because he was saying like cursed energy phenomenon is not the exact same thing as like the phenomena in nature, even if it has similar like traits. And he could very well be right, but I would view it as like, yeah, the stuff he was saying actually did make some good sense. So that's one interpretation of it, but I would view it as like the lowball interpretation. And if you do view that lowball interpretation as accurate, then the verse does peak at like Mach 10, like maybe Mach 20. And I don't remember exactly what Mach the speed of lightning is. It might be Mach 300. Hey, Bromus, thank you, man. Thank you for the donation, bro. I appreciate that, bro. You said good luck on those websites tomorrow. Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. But yeah, Restless genuinely might be 100% correct. I'll just be honest with you. But the way I view it is like I view that as a low ball interpretation. I view the heavy hitters being the speed of lightning, and then Gojo and Sukuna being like about 10 times faster than them as like the medium ball interpretation. And then the just unrealistic interpretation is that these guys are light speed, which would make literally no sense. So I don't even really consider that as something to take seriously. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to talk about tonight, guys. I gotta go to sleep immediately. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.